I'm Dale Williams, Park Williams Homes, and I just want to touch on what our company says it's going to do and how we're going to achieve that. One of the things we say is we're going to build tomorrow's green homes today, or build tomorrow's sustainable homes today. How do we do it? You know, there's our claim, but how do we actually make those things happen? One of the things is, of course, energy efficiency. Again, sticking to the basics. First word is reduce. Interguide ratings are a good indication there, but not the be-all end-all by any means, but a good indication to start with. So a lot of our ratings, I guess, will be Interguide rated. I believe the house itself will be Interguide rated. You might have to check that on a specific house you're looking at, but I believe the house itself is going to be rated or some standard similar to that. So energy efficiency right from the get-go, built into the structure without any bling-bling, I guess you'd call it. The example I use is my dad used to have a 55 Oldsmobile, and that 55 Oldsmobile, big tires, big brakes, big V8 engine, big transmission, and if I went down to the dealer today, the same Oldsmobile, I don't even know if they make Oldsmobile anymore, but say that General Motors product, not to pick on General Motors at all, but they have had their trials and tribulations recently, so a good example of kind of the top of the news. I wouldn't see much difference between that 55 Oldsmobile and today's product. The only thing they've really done is, then 55 Oldsmobile, big V8. Today's product, big V8, big transmission, big tires, big brakes. They've blinged it up. They've thrown a lot of stuff underneath the hood, a lot of black boxes, electronic stuff, catalytic converters, and they've done a great job. But, is that enough? Apparently not, So in the case of housing, we want to start with not just throwing, say, the bling-bling black boxes at it or the ground source heat pumps and saying, oh wow, somehow we've become energy efficient because we just tossed this piece of technology at it. We want the basic house, even with no technology in it, to be, when I say the basic house, I mean the basic structure, design, and architecture of the house. Even if you rip that stuff out that has switches and plugs and gas running to it, even if you took all those appliances out of the house, the basic structure, the basic architecture of the building, of the home, would meet these guidelines. And then on top of that, of course, we want to plug in all the bling-bling stuff. But that's probably a big difference about what we're doing. Is we're looking at it from a grassroots standpoint, and then on top of that, we still want to put the Interguide rated appliances and stuff like that. So what this means to you, you may or may not care about green, but what it does mean to you that you probably will care about is reduced ongoing costs for operating and keeping your house running, so your utility costs. That's got to be important to most people, especially with rising costs of energy of all types. So that's one big area we're looking at. Water usage. This has actually been ignored. I was really surprised by this, but I was recently in a meeting and I was questioning the architect, and it was for the Equilibrium home that's being built in Kamloops here. It's 2009, and it's called the Net Zero home. That's the Equilibrium Net Zero home, and they're building it up here as kind of a dream home type project. This water usage has really seemed very, maybe a cursory nod, but it hasn't, from what I could glean from talking to the architect, really priority. So water usage for us is really important, and we're going to build features into the house. If it's not hooked up right away, at least stuff will be done to the building that can allow it to be hooked up at a later date if you choose to go that next step, and maybe you're very environmentalist, then you can hook it up. If you're more just concerned with, hey, I just want my anything to do with this water usage cost as low as possible, it'll probably be good enough from the day you move in. But one of the things we do, say with the landscaping, is we're really concerned with landscaping there, and it also relates to how you irrigate it. Just to give you an example, the last property we did, I have almost 200 plants running off a single pipe that is smaller than this marker. So you can probably see how small that is. Now you can imagine running several, 200 plants on a little pipe like that, and how it's happened. Well, you just do it through xeriscape and choosing the right plants and the right watering system. So, and we also, of course goes without saying, we choose beyond building code water appliances, such as the toilet with dual flush and stuff like that. So another thing we have done in the past, and you have to check your specific home, but we have gone into gray water, where we separated the gray water from the sewage water, and we didn't hook it up, but we separated them, and then the person could hook it up if they chose to go that next level. So check your specific home for that detail. So another thing is quality and longevity of everything we put into that home. So we've got things like natural woods, durable finishing materials, durable structure, and the design. Is it a quality long-term design? So a lot of the stuff you'll see, what we're doing is very classic. It's been proven to be beautiful architecture for the years, and so it's not something you're going to want to tear down or do extensive renovations to in 10 or 15 years, because this fancy glass design is now totally outdated, and so we're going with some classic stuff here. I mean, this is classic architecture, and like an example I can use here for the quality and longevity is we just built a whole pile of cabinets for a house that we're doing out in Campbell Creek, and the woods we used to build those cabinets were 3/4-inch shop grade maple plywood. So we didn't use the cheaper MDF or particle board stuff that probably in 10, 15, maybe 20 years you're going to say, hey, let's tear that stuff out because it's cracked, it's crumbling, it's not performing the way you hope it to. But we're using an actual 3/4-inch shop grade plywood, which is very expensive, but it's something that's going to be there for a lot of years, and we're combining that with really solid design, so it's something you're going to want to be there for a lot of years. You're not going to want to say, hey, that's just the latest fashion and let's tear it out 5 years from now. So these are some of the areas that we hope you'll find, we say what we're going to do, which is building tomorrow's green homes today, and this is actually how we're going to walk the talk or achieve that, do what we said we were going to do. So there's a lot of other areas to go into, probably beyond the scope of this video, but those are the basics. Thanks very much.